Welcome back, friends. Mark here. I was recently called into a commercial building to work on a project that involves removing two sliding doors in an alcove type situation. So these sliding folding doors, they're almost 16 foot across, and after you take that out and take the track off, you're left with all these holes up in the ceiling. So I have two options to repair that. The first is to use this 3M high strength spackling compound right here, and then apply it with this knife right here. I think it's like a 4-inch, like a drywall knife. And then I would have to probably do a couple coats of that, then also sand in between coats and the final, and then go ahead and paint it. My second option is to use this Milwaukee 7¼ inch circular saw and rip some 1/2-inch plywood and just cover it up. So to see which one I went with, let's get in the video and you'll find out. So I have to hope at the time of making this video that Milwaukee is going to be close to releasing a new track saw. I know everybody asks about that and we're just all still waiting. So the next best thing, I have this Milwaukee 7¼ inch saw right here. And then on my channel, I've used the skate plate accessory right here, and this has a roller system. So this one's a little bit different. This is for the Sidewinder. I also reviewed one a while ago featuring the worm gear style saw. So this one has the upgraded arm right here, so it can go over, I think it's like 29 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and fit this in there and measure it off, and we're gonna do some cutting. So you put that in there, that slides into there. Just tighten her down. Yeah, that looks good. So let's get this set up right now for cutting. So this is the factory edge right here, the plywood. So we're going to do 5 3/8. So I'm going to measure, so I will save the line. All right, so let's go ahead and get this set up back here. We're going to let her rip. So here is a thorough look at the ceiling, what we're going to be covering. So as I mentioned, it's almost 16 foot long. So I have two sections of painted plywood. Here's the first section right here. You see how I have a couple coats of paint on it. Looks really nice. So I'm using the Milwaukee M18 15 gauge nailer right here. This is the generation 2. That's what I'm going to fasten the plywood up to the ceiling with. Here I'm loading it with one hand. Take a close look here at the Generation 2. It has improved performance over the Generation 1. It's only been out for maybe about 2 months now. And the tip right there, it's more pointed on this one, which is better for getting into tight areas. So I like what Milwaukee's doing. So let's go ahead and take a look. This is how we're going to hold the other end of the plywood up with this Zipwall system. They're spring ends. This works really well for working by yourself. It also works well for a dust barrier too, but I'm just being resourceful, thinking of a way to work by myself to get this job done. So now that we have the plywood held in place with the Zipwall poles, it's time to get the 15 gauge nailer ready. So we got the battery inserted. We're just turning it on here. And there's a couple different modes. There is sequential and contact actuation firing modes. And if we want to adjust the depth of the nail right there, you just turn that. And I like these rubber bumpers on here, so when you set it down on that side, it doesn't mar up the surface of anything. So I definitely think that project went well, and I think I made the right choice. The only thing I have left to do is paint the plywood, which I'll do off camera. So I thought that this was actually a really easy project, but the more I think about it, what really made it easy is having the right tools for the job. So like over here in my shop, I have the right saw and I have the right guide for it, and that made the plywood cutting very easy. The other part of the project that went really well was fastening the plywood up to the ceiling. So the Milwaukee M18 15 gauge nailer, that made it a piece of cake. My old setup would require bringing a compressor along, bringing some air hose, some oil. Actually, that particular pneumatic air nailer was oilless, which was the only one of all my air nailers that didn't require oil. I'm not sure why that is. So I'd like to know your thoughts. Would you try to patch it, or do you think I made the right choice? For me, being able to run some power tools like over here, I will choose that night and day, and I think it just went that much faster because I could basically cover it up all in one day. I didn't have to go back with different coats, having to sand that down, the mud down, and then do it again. So this way we just have a really nice, clean looking part of the ceiling that covers up that track. So if you have any questions about any of the tools that I used in this project, let me know. If you want to find out more about them, the tools, I have some links down below to the Home Depot where you can read all about them. You can get the reviews, you can see the price and everything like that. So my goal of this video is to show you how to make some repairs either in your house or in a building somewhere, and also to show you how these particular Milwaukee tools work so you can see if they're right for you in case you have some type of project like that that involves what I've done here. So if you enjoy this video, please help support my channel by giving it a thumbs up. That's it, friends. Thanks for watching. See you next time.